Hi and welcome to Run Tall with Tim. I'm Tim. On today's video, it is Season 2, Episode 2 of a half marathon training program with Garmin Coach. The purpose of today's video is to recap the workouts that were completed this week. I'm going to go through each one and explain exactly what that workout was and how to do it. And then I'm going to also share my results and how I did. We're going to go to connect.garmin.com. Once we've done that, you're going to come up with the screen that you see here. And I'm going to go all the way over to the left. And here you're going to see a number of different options that come up and that are available to us. This is where a lot of your information is that you're going to find to be useful for you. And since we're going to be looking at the workouts that we completed this week, I want to go down to calendar. And here you can see that the month of March pops up. Now, we established our workout schedule or our workout plan for our half marathon on the 14th. And the first thing that it asked us to do was to run a benchmark. And so I'm going to click on benchmark run. And you can see that it pops up. Now, this is what it was asking us to do. It starts out with a 2-minute jog or walk to warm up. And then you run hard for 5 minutes. Now, I tried to run at a pace of about 90% of what my ability is. And then it finished that workout or benchmark run with a 2-minute jog or walk to cool down. On Monday, we had an easy run as a part of our plan. And that starts with a 5-minute jog or walk to warm up. 20-minute run at an easy run pace of 9:14 to 10:14 minute mile with an option to run an additional 10 minutes if you wanted to. And then that followed with a cool down for 5 minutes. We'll move on to stride repeats on Wednesday. Here we start with a 10-minute jog or walk to warm up. And then we're going to hit our lap button. Now on mine, I have a Vivoactive 3. That lap button is an arrow that pops up on my screen. I just tap the arrow and it goes right into my stride repeats. The idea is to run hard for 20 seconds, getting my cadence up between a 150 and 200 steps per minute pace. And then that's followed with a 45-second recovery time. And then I repeat that process 8 different times for our stride repeats. And then we finish it off with a 10-minute jog or walk to cool down. And then on Friday, we have a long, easy run. Starts with a 5-minute jog or walk to warm up. And then we run for 50 minutes at an easy run pace of 9:14 to 10:14 minute mile, followed by a 5-minute jog to cool down. And you do have the option to run an additional 30 minutes if you so choose. So that's the basic plan that we completed this last week. I'm going to go back now and show you how I did or my performance. To do that, I'm going to go back to the left side of the screen. I'm going to go down to our daily summary. Brings up our calendar. I'm going to click on the calendar on the far left. I'm going to go back to March the 14th, which was our benchmark run. And then here you can see some basic summary information of that benchmark run. And you can see what else I had done that day. So I started out with some dynamic exercises, doing some yoga before I went out for my run. I'm going to click on View Activity. And here you can see it's got a summary there at the top. The total workout was just about 1.25 miles. Only 9 minutes to complete that benchmark run. And you can see that I went down to my local high school track to do that. So you can see that I had run basically in an oval. And as we scroll down, you can see that there's lots of other information that's here. The blue at the bottom of the screen represents my pace. And then if we click here, we can see a visual representation of our workout. Also, if we scroll down a little bit further onto the screen, you're going to see that it gets more in-depth information that's available to us. And I'm going to go all the way down here towards the bottom. And with the benchmark run, I'm interested in the laps because I wanted to see what that 5 minutes was. And we have our 2-minute warm up there with lap 1. Lap 2 is that 5 minutes where I was trying to run at 90% of my ability. And I'm going to kind of move over here to where it says average pace, which was a 6:37 minute mile. I'm pleased with that. I'm coming off an ankle injury, or I'm still working through an ankle injury, to my shin on my right leg. So 6:37 is fine for my benchmark run, and as I scrolled over, you can see there's lots of other information that's available to you should you want to go in deeper into your own workouts and activities. I'm going to go back over here to the left-hand side, go back to daily summary, and I'm going to hit my calendar, go to Monday the 15th, and that was an easy run. Click on View Activity to break it down so we can see it in more detail. To complete the easy run, I went out to my local state park to complete that. And you can see with over here to the far right, it will tell you what gear I was using for my benchmark run. In each run, with the exception of Friday, I ran in the Hoka Carbon X2. And again, if you wanted to, you could click on the Go button to see your route and follow along. One thing I will note is you might see some spaces here where it looks like I picked up the pace. I was doing some filming for a shoe review for the Hoka Carbon X2s, and when I would hit that the record button on the GoPro, I seemed to pick up the pace a little bit there. It's kind of like hitting NOS on your car, I think. But for the most part, I kept it at a pretty even pace, which is what Garmin was asking me to do. And if we click over here on our laps down at the bottom, it breaks it down for us. And lap 1 is the warm-up, and then laps 2 and so on each represent a mile thereafter. So lap 2 is a mile, lap 3 is a mile, and so on, with my average pace ranging between an 8:02 and an 8:46 minute mile for that easy run workout in the Carbon X2s. I'm going to go back over here to daily summary. And now we're going to take a look at our stride repeats. So I'm going to go to the 17th, which is Wednesday's workout. Click on View Activity. And here again, you can see a visual representation of my workout. And in this case, I worked the stride repeats in with what a normal route would be. I didn't go down to the high school track like I like to do when I'm doing speed work, but it was a Wednesday and school's in session, and they got their own stuff going on down there. They don't need me hanging around their high school track. So I worked the speed repeats or the stride repeats into, like I said, my normal route. And visually, you can see some of the red areas marked there. That's when I was picking up the pace. And just as a reminder, the stride repeats, the goal was after the warm-up to run 20 seconds, try to get my steps per minute up between a 150 and 200. And you can see down here, as I scroll down, we can break down that information. And this is where you want to click on laps, because that will give you some more definitive or easy to follow information about what my steps per minute were during those 20-second time periods. And that starts with lap 4. Again, at 20 seconds, and I go all the way over to where it says average run cadence was 188. And then it was 199, and then 200, 200, 196, and so on. So that was right in the range that Garmin was asking me to do. So I'm happy with that. I stayed within that 150 to 200 steps per minute for my stride repeats on Wednesday. So let's go back up, and we'll go back over to daily summary, and we'll take a look at the last workout for the week, which was on Friday, which is a longer, easy run, longer than the previous runs were that earlier in the week. And I'm going to click on View Activity. And for this, I went out to my local state park. For this run, I was running in the Hoka Mach 4s. And you can see just kind of a visual representation. And then I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. And you can see there at the bottom my pace ranges. And again, those spikes, I was filming for a shoe review with the Hoka Mach 4s. And so if you see the little spikes, that's probably me hitting the record button on the GoPro. And then as we scroll down here, we can break it down into more information. Again, you got the summary there at the bottom. We hit our laps, and we can see just what my average pace was. A little faster than what Garmin was calling for. Again, for this workout, they were asking that the cadence be, or the pace be, somewhere between a 9:14 and a 10:14 minute mile. And I was, about a 9:05. So a little bit quicker than what Garmin was calling for. But overall, I was running at a comfortable pace. And so I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that workout. And then that brings us back to the calendar. And as we look ahead to next week, and I hope you can join me next week, as a breakdown, the workouts for that week, which will start on the 21st, and it's going to be an easy run followed by some speed repeats later in the week and a progression run, as well as a long, easy run to wrap up the workouts for next week. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe give it a thumbs up. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.